What's up, TBS crew? It's your boy Steph, back with another reaction. This time we have Creepypasta Jr. There is something wrong with the elevator. Creepypasta, uploaded September 21st, 2019. Now, a quick summary. I do not like elevators at all. I will always take the stairs as long as they are offered. Like, as long as that's an option to go up the stairs, go up a floor, down a floor, or wherever I gotta go, I would generally always take the stairs unless I'm just really lazy or really tired. I do not fuck with elevators. Like, it's a long story. I'll probably cover it in another video, but just know I had a bad experience in an elevator, like when I was a kid, on more than one occasion. Like, the bitch just like stopped, like the power went out for a minute, and so it stopped, it got stuck, and it was about at least a good half an hour before it got moving again, and I just was losing my shit. But like I said, that's for another video. We on this now, so y'all already know. Down in the description will be links to Creepypasta Jr.'s channel, this original video, and all of my social medias. Without further ado, let's get into it. I do not fuck with elevators. Stare me any day.
The sounds of chittering keyboards and the low conversations are the first thing I notice as I step off the elevator. Catherine is once again on her phone with her daughter in the break room, chatting about another relationship issue. Joe is in there with her. I can tell he's just trying to enjoy a bit of time to himself as he nurses his coffee. Bill stands next to the water cooler in the early morning, waiting for anyone to meet his gaze to initiate conversation. My eyes never leave the ground. Christine is nice enough, though her bubbly personality is a lot to take in this early in the morning.
Right.
Eric is reminiscing with Matt at his cubicle. They're talking about who won the big game the previous night. I slowly navigate through multiple aisles before finding my cubicle to the far back of the room. I sit down at my desk and log onto the computer to start my day. I sit there for hours, inputting number after number into various spreadsheets. This goes on until my watch beeps, informing me it's time for lunch. I walk back through the aisles and into the break room.
I got a Facebook message.
Bill is speaking with Joe.
My bad.
His rough voice grates my ears as I enter. I can instantly tell Joe is uncomfortable. He can never seem to get some peace to himself. Luckily, my presence goes unnoticed, and I eat my sandwich in solitude off in the corner. I return to work and continue processing numbers for the remainder of my shift. The watch beeps a second time, signifying my shift has come to an end. One by one, we all slowly file out of the office like robots, before loading into that metal box to take us to the lobby. I stare out of the nearby window looking at the cityscape from the 38th floor of this building. The view is nice, and it gives me an excuse not to interact with anyone. I finally step into the elevator and ride it all the way to the bottom. Some of my coworkers give me a cursory goodbye, and I return a nod before hopping into my car and driving back to my apartment. That is my work life, for better or for worse. Some of you might think it's a boring existence, and of course you'd be right. I'm that character that you've often seen in sitcoms and TV shows about offices. Not the one people make fun of, mind you, but the one in the back. One of the extras that nobody pays any mind. Somebody that never has anything happen to them ever. I don't mind it though, being the guy that no one interacts with.
Right.
I'd rather just show up to work, do my shift, and head home for the night.
Right.
I have been working as an analyst at this company for close to 4 years now. During those 4 years, the weirdest thing I've ever seen happen there was when Bill used the soda machine. And upon pressing a single button, all of the cans came pouring out of it. I remember it vividly because Bill likes to tell it to anyone who will listen, even if you've heard it multiple times before. That was until a few days ago when something else happened in that building. Something that I can't explain. It started out as just another average day. Nothing out of the ordinary had happened when I had gotten up, nor had anything happened on my commute to work. I was simply driving along, listening to the radio as my building grew in the distance. I parked in my usual spot and walked towards the entrance. After passing through the doors, I nodded to Peter, one of the security guards that monitors the lobby. I walked past him, rounding the corner to the elevators. Now, it's not unusual for me to ride the elevator by myself. There have been many days where I took the lone journey up to my floor. It only takes about a minute to arrive. I pressed the call button and waited. I glanced around, not seeing anyone in the vicinity. When I turned to look back at the elevator, it was sitting open before me. I thought it was odd that I hadn't heard its arrival, or the heavy metal door sliding open. I looked down at my watch and stepped inside. On the panel, I found the number 38 and pressed it, and waited as the door silently slid shut. I watched as the numbers above the door steadily increased. This is when things started to take a turn. The elevator reached the 38th floor, but it didn't stop. It passed the 39th, and then the 40th. It continued to rise higher and higher.
Too many floors.
I looked down at the panel to make sure I had pressed the correct button, and the little 38 was still illuminated. It hit the 50th floor, and then it hit the 51st. When that happened, I felt a wave of panic and confusion wash over me. I stared at that glowing 51 on the screen in disbelief. There were only 50 floors to this building.
Oh.
The number didn't stop increasing, however.
Only?
It continued climbing.
Fuck you mean?
Not sure of what I should do, I pressed the emergency stop button.
50 is too much.
But that did little to deter it. I thought I was having some sort of hallucination, or perhaps I was still at home dreaming. The elevator shuddered for a moment, before the momentum finally came to a rest. The small LED screen read 88. The 88th floor was where this elevator had decided to stop. I wondered about what would happen next. Would the elevator suddenly begin dropping from the sky? Would I wake up back in my own bed? As my mind raced, the door in front of me opened. There was a floor in front of me. I thought maybe the elevator had simply gone to the 50th floor and that the small screen was malfunctioning. I peeked out into the corridor and I could hardly see much in front of me. There were no lights on this floor.
Is that door opening?
Everything was dark, just barely illuminated by the light within the elevator.
That unnerved me, I don't know why.
From what I could see,
That
it
elevator?
appeared to be just another floor to this building. There were obvious shapes of cubicles and other office decor spread about, though obviously untouched. I wondered if this had been some kind of prank, orchestrated by some of my coworkers, but quickly pushed that thought out of my mind. I tried pressing the lobby button in the elevator, but the light remained on the 38. After that, I began pressing all of the buttons to see if anything would happen, but nothing. The elevator was stationary, and the floor before me was beckoning. I stuck my head out and looked around.
Don't do
I
it.
called out to the darkened area asking if anyone was around, but nothing responded.
Don't do it.
Against my better judgment, I stepped out of the elevator
Of course.
and into the office space.
Of course.
Simply stepping onto that floor, I could feel the tension in the air shift around me.
I bet.
What was once a neutral space had now become one of impending danger.
It be like
At least, that's how it felt to me. My eyes drifted from left to right. The whole area just seemed to be an abandoned office floor. As my eyes turned to focus on the path ahead of me, I saw something that made me freeze in mid-step. There was someone on the far end of the room,
that. See,
though it was too dark to see it clearly. I called out to them, asking where I was, but they didn't answer. Whoever it was coming towards me. It stepped within the light of the elevator behind me. It was a man. He wore a torn up and disheveled business suit. Cuts and gashes marred his face. His wide eyes conveyed a desperate look of fear. He reached out a hand towards me and I wanted to back up, but my legs wouldn't move. A raspy voice left the man's lips. "You have to go," he said.
You ain't gotta tell me twice.
"Before it finds you." After he said that, I heard a noise coming from the back of the room.
I'm gone.
A sound like a growl emanated from the shadows.
It's time to go.
I could see two eyes like burning coals shimmering in the dark.
Let's go, man.
I looked to the man once more and he just pointed past me before telling me to leave once again. I turned and glanced back at the elevator. When I turned back to offer to help the man out of this place, he was gone. There was no sign of him anywhere. The only thing left were those glowing red eyes, which were much closer than before. I nervously shuffled backwards into the elevator and began pressing the buttons repeatedly. Nothing was happening.
Oh, shit.
I could feel my breathing hasten as I struggled against the panel. In the room, the sound of growling echoed louder, almost as if it were a dog preparing to attack. I slammed my fist against the panel and the door finally shut. As soon as they did, a loud crash vibrated on the other side of the door. The numbers began to rapidly descend in the elevator, and it eventually came to a stop on the 38th floor. The door opened up once again, and I saw all of my coworkers standing in front of the elevator.
The door's closing.
They all looked at me with confused expressions before Bill entered the elevator, saying, "Better late than never, huh?" I asked him what was going on, and he said that they were all heading home, that work was over for the day. I had never been more confused and happy to see my coworkers in my life. I thought I had been on that floor for only around 20 minutes or so, but apparently I had been up there for 8 hours straight. Most of my coworkers had just assumed I was sick and were surprised to find me in the elevator. Still, none of them asked me what I was doing in there, and I was silently grateful for that.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I can't explain what happened that day. I don't know how it was possible to go 38 floors above the highest floor in this building. I don't know who that injured man was, or where he disappeared to. And I absolutely have no idea what was making that terrible growling noise. But I'm thankful I didn't find out. I've taken some time off to clear my head. I hope it'll do me some good. And once I get back to work, I think I'll be taking the stairs from now on.
I bet. See, it wasn't even the fact that he was taking the elevator that was so bad. I mean, that was bad enough in itself. This motherfucker said it had 50 floors. That just put out the whole rest of the video for me. Like, I was already done after that. I was already done with this story after he said that this building he worked in had 50 floors, fam. Nah, I would never, ever be in that situation. Motherfucker, I would rather walk up 50 pairs of stairs, fam, or walk down 50 pairs of stairs. Well, stories, whatever you want to say. I would rather walk. That's too, nah, fam. I understand the elevator's a lot quicker, but you gotta realize, man, that's, elevators run by electricity. So once the electricity goes out, to my knowledge, so does the elevator. The stairs, they don't run by electricity unless they're those, you know, mobile stairs, you know, like they have in malls and things of that nature. The stairs is always open. I would never, and I put that on everything, you would never see me getting on an elevator and going up 50 floors. Maybe a couple of floors, but like going from floor 1 all the way to floor 50 in the elevator, no. I can't see that happening. I'm not gonna say never. It's just me, the way I'm thinking right now. Nah, this creepypasta didn't help either. But nah, I can't see myself ever doing that shit. Real talk. What about y'all though? Thank you so much, guys, for watching my video. If you enjoyed the reaction, leave a like, a comment, and share the video. And if you really liked it, subscribe to the channel, join the TBS crew, and tap that bell icon so you will get notified every time your boy Steph drop new content, which I do on a weekly basis. That is all I got for y'all this time around. Your boy Steph is out.